here with Bill Stone, CEO of FLO TV, who just kicked off Streaming Media West with the opening keynote. How'd the presentation go? What did you talk about?
No, I think it went great. You know, you're seeing this convergence of mobile, broadcast, and internet. And I think that given that we're coming at it from a mobile perspective, people had a lot of interest in seeing what our views on it were. So I was pretty happy.
So let's take a giant step back. Why don't you tell people what FLO TV is, and you made a timely announcement this past week, and maybe bring it up to the announcement.
Sure. So FLO TV is the only national broadcast network that's been deployed from a mobile perspective. And so what we've done is historically sold our product through Verizon and AT&T, and we now have launched our direct-to-consumer offering under the FLO TV brand. So now we're available in Best Buy and Amazon, and we're available at Radio Shack with our new FLO personal television.
Very
so it's
nice
TV,
looking.
It's TV on the go.
You, as a company, originally had people could buy it through their AT&T and Verizon phone, their iPhone and their AT&T account. You decided to build out, it seems, your own national cellular network, or what kind of network are you building?
Yeah, it's actually a national broadcast network, and why that's important and why AT&T and Verizon are actually customers of ours today is that the demand of how many people want to do mobile video is just growing exponentially, and the supply of what we call unicast networks just can't keep up, meaning your traditional carrier network that you want to stream a video or download a song or whatever happens to be. And so for FLO, because we're broadcast, we can be the most efficient way to deliver that out to the customer, as well as delivering a great user experience. And so that's why Verizon and AT&T are with us, but we also found it important to go out and launch our own brand with our own products and services and devices, and this is our first one we're launching.
So how does one go about, from a technology infrastructure, rolling out a national broadcast network?
Yeah, it's interesting because what we've done is we took the old Channel 55 spectrum. So if you remember back in the day with the rabbit ears up on top of your television, well, when the government went through the digital transition earlier this year, we took that spectrum and have now nationally put 20 live TV channels across it. And so what we've done is we've built out our own infrastructure using transmitter towers, and so we have a satellite facility in San Diego where we take the feeds from the content providers, we then optimize them for our network and then send them back out via satellite to transmitters that are all over the country in the top 100 cities and top 200 million people, and we're able to deliver live television.
That's very cool. So when people wonder what happened to that spectrum, you're some of the people who are using that old spectrum that the current broadcasters are no longer using.
Yeah, so we took that old UHF spectrum, and now it's in our control to deploy whatever we want with it. We chose to do live television as our first application off that, but it could be also used for on-demand, it could be used for delivering books, magazines, data casting. There's a whole variety of applications that we can use with our technology.
And so basically you kind of lined up knowing you were going to take over that spectrum with, hey, let's start rolling some products out onto the market.
That's right. And for us, live television was a natural. People live their lives on the go. All of us watch television. All of us are out in a mobile environment. Let's put the two together.
Cool. So, and historically it's been on AT&T, it's been on Verizon, now you have your own product out through, you said, Amazon, Best Buy.
Yep.
What's the consumer price points in terms of, I guess, buying the device and then subscription?
Yeah, so what we wanted to do, especially given it's the holidays, is make this very simple for people. So you can go into Amazon or Best Buy, or next month go to Radio Shack, and you can just buy it. It's $249, but it comes included with service. So it comes with 6 months of service. So you just have it under the tree and you're ready to go.
Okay, and then what happens in month 7?
Then you have a variety of pricing options you can choose from, whether those are monthly options or annual options or what have you, and they'll start for under $10 a month. Okay.
Now, in terms of pushing this whole thing out, and I guess you have a legacy of doing it through AT&T and Verizon, but is the basic business where you're striking content deals with networks and content providers, and what are those conversations like? Is everybody game on to try new things? Do you kind of have to pull the horse to the water?
Right. I think right now what you're seeing is two great dynamics.
Jesus. Sorry, a bird just slammed into the window in the background.
It's hard to compete with that. What we see right now is two interesting dynamics. The first is the carriers are spending billions of dollars to try to upgrade their infrastructure to keep up with the demand for data. So we help on that front. So they want to engage with us and put more FLO devices out there. But the other thing we see as a theme is that the content providers are trying to find new ways to monetize their digital content. It all can't be for free. There has to be business models that are around that. Given that we at FLO have a business model where the content provider, the distribution partner, and FLO all have an opportunity to participate, what we see is a lot of interest because we're now a new digital platform where people can monetize their assets.
It seems like you're almost helping them keep what they like about cable, which is monthly recurring subscription revenue. I mean, I almost view this as you're a mobile cable operator. Would that be an accurate?
Well, I'd say a couple things about it. First is that we offer broadcast and pay television channels with it, but also I think the ability to do interactivity, the ability to have on-demand, the ability to have specific made-for-mobile programming, I think are a little bit different than a traditional cable operator. But for us, we are a content distribution company. That is what we do.
I guess in that sense of kind of bundling and wrapping up a whole bunch of content and delivering it out to people. So that's kind of how I meant it. But actually, you just mentioned one thing. So can you talk a little bit about some of the mobile content only deals you're striking? Is it with kind of the hip savvy, short form content providers that you're striking deals with, or who are you going to, or who's pitching you? And
yeah, what we see right now is a lot of demand to people want to come and participate in the platform because they're not subject to all the creative limitations that might exist on other platforms. They can really stretch their legs out in mobile and use this as a platform. And we have, whether it's Keanu Reeves and Sarah Silverman, we have Amanda Congdon from Rocket Boom, who's here as one of our original content providers. So we have a whole array of people that want to participate in making our platform successful. But what we see with original content is a little bit different than traditional, is that traditional content brings people in. So it's the brands, it's the comfort food that I have ESPN and CNBC and Fox and so on. But what we see is that once people are in the platform, that they want to sample and they want to see new things. They want to see things that are specifically made for mobile and that are entertaining and that type of thing. And that's where we see original content really play an important role for us.
So what are, you mentioned Keanu Reeves, is it, I mean, it seems like even with just web video and episodic series, you kind of have a mix of entrepreneurial kind of small production teams. You have stars who I guess feel like it gives them street cred to kind of do some cool online viral videos. Is that kind of the types of individuals and companies who are working with you?
So we have this, I really wouldn't call it original, maybe a better word is shorts for it. And so what we'll do is I'll call it almost the FLO Mall channel, where what we'll do is we'll take some programming that our customers know, it could be TMZ, it could be Adult Swim, and put programming blocks around that. And then just similar to Macy's and Nordstrom's, where those pull you into the shopping mall, TMZ and Adult Swim can pull you in. And what we'll do is we'll create programming blocks within the mall. So it could be an hour of comedy, an hour of user-generated, an hour of drama, an hour of action sports, whatever. And then we'll sample within those programming blocks all kinds of programming from big name stars all the way to small production shops, and we'll do a lot of experimentation, and the ones that we see the most stickiness with will continue to grow and develop.
So in turn, I get the sense that if it's a monthly subscription, that you keep a piece of that, you share a piece of it with all kind of the content providers. For the small, these individuals we're talking about, how do they participate how do they generate revenue through FLO? Yeah,
I think there's a variety of different business models that the smaller developers can participate in. One is they can just license us content for a flat fee. One is we could look at some sort of
Meaning you would pay them a flat fee?
That's right.
Okay.
We could do a per subscriber fee to them. We could do something that maybe we pay a little bit higher in exchange for exclusivity on FLO. If they don't want to do exclusivity and they want to monetize it across multiple platforms, then that gives them more distribution opportunities. So there's a variety of different ways we can partner with those guys, or they can actually use our platform as a marketing tool and a promotional tool to launch something much bigger.
Okay.
So there's a lot of ways to do it.
Got it. And so basically it's a combination. So for example, last night on my flight cross country on JetBlue, I was watching the, I don't know why I was watching it, but I was watching the Browns-Ravens game. Could I have watched that on this?
Yeah, so today we have I think we'll have 200 live college football games, we'll have over a couple hundred NBA games. Right now the NFL content is not licensed out in any digital way except for Sprint.
Okay.
That agreement is up at the end of this year, so stay tuned.
So you're talking to them, but generally for sports, I could be watching the live baseball game.
We have Major League we have Major League Baseball, we have the NBA, we have NCAA college football, we have the Masters. You know, there's a whole variety of live sports that all do well in FLO.
And then I could also watch kind of primetime programming and things like that.
Yeah, so we've got our primetime programming, whether it's CSI or 30 Rock, or now Leno's in primetime. You can watch that.
Yeah. Now, obviously, this is a kind of portable consumer device, but you're also working with some of the big auto manufacturers for more kind of car-specific devices. Right. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so when I think about FLO, I think about it as just really being in the small screen business. So anything that's got a small screen should be able to have FLO on it. So whether that's traditional cell phones with Verizon or AT&T, the device here we're talking about. We're also excited about the automobile market or rear seat entertainment. There's actually more rear seat entertainment units in the United States than iPhones today. Wow. So, and people bought it for entertainment, so that's a natural to put television in. And we've done a lot of research and asked people, what would you rather have, television, satellite radio, or OnStar in your vehicle? And television shows up 2 to 1 over it. Yeah. So, huge demand there. I think that's a great market for us. But we'll evolve into other small screens as well. So whether that's smart books and netbooks, gaming devices, navigation. I mean, elevators. I mean, anything with a small screen, you can see that FLO is available because we're about having the best screen available. Yeah.
So have you struck deals with any specific auto manufacturers? Yeah,
so we're actually going to be launching later this year with our partners AudioVox. We'll be going aftermarket to all the car dealers nationally, and you'll see us over the next few months be nationally distributed through all the major car dealerships. Then we also announced a deal a few weeks ago with Chrysler that we'll be partnering with them, and I think you'd anticipate similar to how satellite radio evolved, where it started aftermarket and then moved into embedded over a few years. I think you'll see a similar model evolve with mobile TV.
Got it. Do you have any goals for, I guess if you just launched, last week, do you have any goals? So fast forward a year from now, we're at Streaming Media West 2010. Do you have any goals for number of subscribers or reach across both the consumer devices and the auto installs?
Yeah, so for us, we definitely have discrete goals for each each launch, but it's also a little bit hard to tell for us because these are all brand new markets. So there's not like there's 10 years of data to say what the demand curves are exactly going to look like for us. But really the key to FLO is the network's all about scale. And so whether we have 1 user on the network, 1 million users on the network, or 10 million users on the network, it doesn't cost us anything more to support that from an infrastructure point of view because it's broadcast. So really getting scale on the network's key to us.
Yeah. Let me ask you one last content-related question. Everybody, actually not me, but a lot of other people talk about, you can only have short-form content on the web, which I sort of disagree with. I think if you have good content, people will watch it. If it's crappy, it's thank God it's short form. But now you're talking about an even smaller device. What are you seeing, because you probably have access to a lot of data of your users, are people watching a full 30-minute, 60-minute show or a 3-hour baseball or football game and just sticking and staying glued to the screen?
Yeah, what we see today is that people watch 30 minutes a day of FLO. Just to put that in context, I think that's more than 2x of what people watch Hulu today. I think it's more, if you put it across, it's 30 times 30, 900 minutes a month. That's more than people make for cell phone minute calls. So people are watching more FLO on their cell phone than making voice calls. So we definitely see usage for the product. But it's not necessarily all concentrated at one time. One of the things that's really surprised me, though, is that some long-form content, like movies, do actually do well. And it's really not that people want to sit there for 2 hours on a small screen device and watch a movie, but if it's a movie they already know and they're familiar with, people like to dip in and dip out of the movie, and they just grab a few minutes of Caddyshack or Karate Kid or whatever it can be. And so we definitely see that long-form content, if it's compelling and engaging, will attract eyeballs to it. And content, to your point, that isn't compelling won't.
And with that long form content, it seems that you had mentioned that you expect the bulk of your revenue to come from subscriptions versus advertising. So do you envision, I see you have CSI going right now,
Yep.
that if somebody's watching CSI on this device that they probably won't really see much advertising, or how are you integrating advertising? Would it be lower thirds? Would it be a 10-second video that interrupts the programming?
Yeah, so what we're going to do from an advertising perspective is similar to local cable operators or satellite providers today, where they'll receive a minute or two, every half hour of advertising. We receive that as well, and we have the ability to go sell ads in that space, which we do today. And we receive cue tones just like anybody else, where we can insert our spots into them. But I think ultimately for advertising, where it's going to be successful is going to be more on interactivity. And so it's going to be the ability to have the advertiser create customized and relevant, because now I know who's watching the programming. And if I have the ability to target advertising directly to the device, that's good.
You know who's watching to the person, right?
That's right.
Like not just that it's a person who's GPS located in San Jose, but you actually know that it's Peter Severi, subscriber, lives in New York,
that's right,
currently in San Jose with his device.
That's right.
Okay.
That's exactly
That's
right.
cool.
And so what that'll allow us to do is, if you're Coca-Cola and you want to do Coke Zero to somebody, Diet Coke to somebody, and regular Coke to somebody, because I can get improved targeting capabilities, that's interesting, that's compelling. What we need to do is have scale on the platform to have the eyeballs to be able to take advantage of that, but the ability for advertisers to get a much more targeted message is something they're pretty excited about.
And then when you say interactivity, I think of kind of a two-way dialogue. Is there the ability for the consumer to click on something and have something happen?
Yeah, so I can get an ad, I can be having a program and I can have something click up, and it could be it could click to merchandise, it could be if I want to buy the sunglasses somebody's wearing in a video, or it could be just an ad that it's sponsored by, and hey, click here to get more information on this, that, or the other thing, and I can just interact directly there to it.
So I could wear the same sunglasses as David Caruso?
If you want it, if that works for you.
Those are hot glasses.
All right.
All right, well, we appreciate it, and this thing looks awesome, and I will definitely check it out. So
All right.
Thanks for your time.
All right, man, cool.